Alright, so The Walking Dead is pretty much known globally all over the world, right? But a lot of people around the world definitely don't know that The Walking Dead actually has its own source material. The Walking Dead actually started off as a comic in 2003 created by Robert Kirkman and has a total amount of 193 issues. But out of all of those issues, there's one that takes the burger when it comes to the darkest or one of the darkest moments in all of the Walking Dead comics. So I'm going to give a little bit of a backstory, then I'm just going to go straight into it.
Number 1 darkest moment in the Walking Dead comics.
So basically there's a moment in The Walking Dead where, in the comics, where we have Rick and Glenn and they're outside of the prison and they notice a helicopter and it's crash landing. They aren't the only ones to notice this. Michonne comes out of the prison rushing out with a sword looking cool, and she's ready to go. She wants to investigate with Glenn and Rick and find out if these people are alive and stuff like that. They obviously want to bring them back. So they make it to the crash site, Rick, Glenn and Michonne, but there's no survivors. There's literally no bodies there. So they see some signs to different streets, different areas. One of them was Woodbury. Off a hunch, they decide, okay, let's go to Woodbury. So they go there, right? And then they end up meeting one of the most notorious villains in all of the Walking Dead comics and the TV series. So this diabolical character is known as the Governor. I would honestly describe this guy as Homelander on crack. This guy makes Homelander look like Plankton for SpongeBob. So when Rick, Glenn and Michonne end up arriving and meeting the Governor in Woodbury, he almost has this impression that, okay, these people are a threat, or he's just like really insane. So he decides to get into some sort of confrontation with Rick, and then he ends up chopping off Rick's hand. This ends up causing Michonne to end up retaliating and biting the Governor's ear off. So this makes him just so heated, like to the point where he's like, okay, I'm gonna do some So you have Rick with only one hand, you have Michonne, who's probably about to get tortured to the max, and you have Glenn, he's just in his pants like constantly. So what makes this, in my opinion, one of the darkest moments in the Walking Dead comics is the fact that the Governor, right, because of what Michonne did to him, biting his ear off, he decides that, okay, I'm gonna torture this woman, right? But I'm not just gonna beat her up.
Bruh, really?
And there's a reason why I say he's like Homelander on crack. So his way of torturing Michonne is basically, I'd say, a struggle snuggle. I'm not gonna describe it obviously in full detail. I'm not gonna give an explanation. I'm not gonna break down what actually happened. All I'm gonna say is Michonne's tied up and they have a struggle snuggle. That's all I'm gonna say. It doesn't take someone to actually witness something like this to actually have a gut-wrenching feeling, right? Even just reading it just gives you that feeling of just disgust, like absolute disgust. Like, so I almost understand why so many people actually feel very, very disturbed about this whole concept in the comics. Like, a lot of people feel like they went too far and they feel like it wasn't even needed. But I'm not here to judge, I'm not here to scrutinize or anything like that. So this Governor character, right, he's so diabolical, right? He decides, okay, I'm going to keep doing this to Michonne, right? I'm going to keep doing this to the point where she feels like she needs to suicide. Like, word for word, verbatim, he says it in the comics that he's going to keep doing this to Michonne till she suicides. Like, this guy's just f***ed up. But there's one thing I really want to point out about this whole situation, right? Alright, so The Walking Dead, if you've watched The Walking Dead, or if you just have an idea of what the apocalypse is going to be like, you know for a fact that most people, like 9 times out of 10, the people that you're going to bump into haven't even taken a shower, right? I'm pretty sure half of the population that are alive in The Walking Dead have low physical hygiene. So the Governor doesn't even know this woman, Michonne. She just comes in to his turf, doesn't even know where she came from, doesn't even know if she even showered that morning. Bro, in the apocalypse, when it comes to their diet, it consists of only like 3 or 4 things. Consistently, it will be like canned goods, squirrels, fruit, and I don't know, maybe some bugs. So you're not even gonna bump into someone who actually has teeth that are fully white. Like, chances are you're gonna bump into someone that has teeth looking like the inside of a Snickers bar. So after Michonne bites his ear off, the Governor, right, he thinks it's a good idea to do that to Michonne, someone he doesn't know in the apocalypse. Obviously the act itself is diabolical. That's not the point. That itself is like next level, like the world should be turned upside down for something like that to happen. But I don't know, I'm just pointing out there, like, it's crazy because this is an introduction into his character. So to get that first impression of someone's character is insane. But yeah, that's why I think that is the darkest moment in all of the Walking Dead comics. There's obviously a reason why this moment got banned from the TV show. Chances are, if The Walking Dead went to HBO, we probably would have seen it in live action.